Welcome to the Safe Life family. We're the safety guys. I'm Landon.
I'm Kevin.
And we're excited you're joining us on the journey from Safety 101 to Safety Experts. Today's episode is a fun one. We're going to talk about awareness, because whether you're in your home, out of your home, on vacation, wherever it may be, you need to know what's happening around you. If not, there are definitely challenges that you're going to be facing. So when you're out and about on the town, what are some important things to be aware of?
Open your eyes. Don't be looking at your phone.
But my phone's so riveting.
Oh, yeah, it is, until someone sneaks right up behind you and grabs you. It's an interesting thing. I should be sometimes a little bit better going in with my wife later at night to our local grocery store. But that's a time that I can get caught up on some of my emails and things that I take care of. And it's interesting to look up and see these people looking down at their phones, walking completely to their cars without any observation of catastrophes that could be out there and about. We just got back from Florida, fun story, and we lost our daughter in the store. So her husband went back in to find her. She likes to shop a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. But I was out to the car and I noticed this sports car that had its windows all blacked out, that was about halfway down in a great big parking lot. It was one of those giant stores. And this gal gets out in a brand new Escalade, had her phone out, and just started to walk by this car. And the car doors, both of them, kind of started to come open. And then I was kind of walking to her, and I could see something's not right. And I just says, ma'am, and I said, do you live here? And I asked a stupid question, but as soon as I approached her, the doors shut back. The car doors were shut again. And I could just see that there was 3 people in there. I couldn't tell if they were male or female, but anyway, when I asked her that and she got back up, I just thought, oh, this poor gal could have been a victim, just because she was right on her. I mean, she was glued to that phone as soon as she got out of the car to go up to the store doors. It's kind of scary.
So I think with your advanced training, obviously you're going to be someone who's going to pick up on those kind of things, but to the layman, right, like myself, how do you start practicing those awareness? I know, sure, you can tell me to put away my phone, but there's going to be times where I'm still attached to it. But any other tips on how to overcome that?
One of the fun tips that I learned when I was starting with some of the classes that I took was on a railroad crossing. You look to the right, you look to the left, you listen. And anytime you walk out of a building, I always just remember, do you want the train to run over you? And you just look to the right, you look to the left, any kind of spy movies, and some of them are kooky, but they are observant. They look to the right, they look to the left, and things once in a while will just be out of place. The one time I was watching this at an elementary school, I was doing an assembly. I was asked to come and speak to the kids. And I parked real close to a car. I was not in a uniform, my police uniform. And this gal comes walking out, and she literally, I glanced up. I was hurrying and eating a sandwich before this assembly. And she looked to the left and she looked to the right. Now, this is coming out of an elementary school that there's just lawn and some landscaping stuff, but there was a parking lot. And she started to just look at the parking lot, and she seen me parked right next to her. Well, she stopped and she just stared at me. And I was just looking at her, and all of a sudden she stared at me so long it made me a little bit nervous. It was just silly. But she got a couple more steps and just glanced, and she turned right around and started walking back into the school, and I knew what she was doing. Anyway, I caught up to her and I says, ma'am, can I ask you a question? It was really interesting what you just did. And she walked a little faster until I says, I'm this police officer. And she stopped, and then she recognized me, and she said, oh. And I said, you did everything perfect right there, because I was parked close to your car. You did safety 101, 102, 103. And I says, who in the world taught you that? And she says, well, my husband was in the military and special forces. And he said, when they go to these third world countries and they're into these conflicts, it's just horrendous. He says, you've got to be observant of everything. And he taught me that. And I thought it was remarkable.
So look for the train. You don't want to get hit.
Don't want that train to run over you.
And I think that a lot of the time, sure, 99.99% of the time, everything's going to be out of place, and there's probably not the train, the metaphorical train coming to get you. But what's that worth? A few moments to just take a look, put the phone away, observe your surroundings can really make a big difference.
If I can add one more thing on that, there's been some good studies and some books out that they said that, if the bad guys, if we can call them that, it's a little bit like the animal kingdom. They look for the weakest point to attack. And if you take and you're in that mode to look around and you're looking at that bad guy right in the eyes, the bad guys that have been caught and stuff, they said they know that that's going to be a challenge. It's the ones that won't even notice that they're there. They can get the surprise attack on them. So it is a good thing to it's all right to look at them, and they know that that they're there. It's just a good thing all the way around.
I think that same principle can also be applied whether you're in your home or your apartment. Mm-hmm. It's okay to take a look around. We'll be discussing at length a little bit more about some in the home safety, but something that's important to note, it's okay to keep an eye out for your neighbors as well. If you don't know them, it might be a good time to introduce yourself. That old showing up with cookies generally can't get you into trouble, at least too much trouble. But know them, and if something seems out of place, it's okay to ask for help. Notify the authorities. Any one of those things can be so important. And while yes, what's on your phone could be of vast importance, it's okay to look for the train. That'll be our catchphrase of today's episode. Any other thoughts about being on vacation, being at home? Any things to look for?
The thing that always has drove me crazy in some of the interviews of the victims, they had a feeling not to go out into that deep dark forest that you see on the movie every time, and this little petite person walks out there like, I'm going to go out and find out what that noise was. It's wrong to do that. If you have the feeling that you shouldn't go someplace, or you feel like you got the spider senses going up on your neck, take that and understand that there's something going on, and go for help. Had a really cool story that a little gal was coming out of a job that she worked really late at night, and she had a feeling not to go out to her car. She kind of looked out there, but she had the courage to say to one of the employees, "Will you just walk me out to my car?" Well, as soon as she did, they got out there, and there was a guy parked right next to her. Now, who knows if anything would have happened, but I was just proud of her to say, you listened to an inner feeling that you should be safe tonight. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard women, more than men, of course, to say, I just had a bad feeling and I did this and this and this, and they followed it. So it's all right it's not that you're chicken, you're smart. You're ready to be that, you're on defense, and it's important to do that.
That reminds me of a video I saw recently where a gentleman was going out to get his mail, and across the street there was a large moose that it was quite interesting, because in the video, of course, it primes you to say that watch what happens to this gentleman. But if for all of us who are watching the video, we can see the moose. It's right there. He must have had something on his mind, right? Looking for his bill, or maybe the tax rebate was coming in, and excited to see that in the mail. But it took him till he got to the back of his vehicle where the moose started charging the individual till he noticed. So it's not just necessarily good tips. I'm sure that moose probably would have felt like a train if that was, if he wouldn't have been noticed that and then been able to get back, of course, to safety. It looked like he was safe, so thank heavens. But look out for the train.
Absolutely.
It can come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. I think that is an incredible tip. We hope that helps. Watch for the train, be aware, look at things, trust your gut. Thanks for joining us. If you feel like we helped guide you in your journey to a safer life or home,
Or if you just think we're awesome,
please follow us for more. After all, who doesn't like a thumbs up or a subscribe?